So I wasn't going to film outside, but because it's such a beautiful day, I just thought like I have to like take advantage of this weather. It's nice because it's not too unbelievably hot. I don't know if you can see in the background, but it's like quite overcast. So I was going to film inside, but I thought, nah, let's just film outside because like, it's a beautiful weather. So the 6th of July, and today's a leg day because today's Tuesday. Woke up Monday, I woke up good time. Today slightly less, like 5-10 minutes later, but still good time nonetheless. I done my leg workout today. There's like this guy, I always see him around Queen Mary. He's like, I think he's like some kind of like engineer, handyman type of guy, because like I think whenever like they need like something fixing, like I always see him going around campus like fixing stuff. But he's always at the gym, and many people at the gym, yeah, there's barely any students, so there's only like certain people who go there. I'm one of them. Like I see him every day, so like I saw him and just like randomly I just gave him like I looked at him and I gave him like a half committed nod, and then I kind of looked away because like that's what I always done, but I saw he was looking at me. So when he was looking at me, I looked back and I gave him a more committed nod, and he nodded back. So that was quite nice, because like I see him like all the time, you know, like people you see all the time on like a regular basis. It's good to like kind of like meet with them and say hello. After that, I went to a new cafe today, which is, you know, kind of like a little treat, you know, spice it up. So previous video I told you guys I went into Oxford Circus, and then on the way I saw a Cafe Neuro on the way there, and I thought, okay, this might be a nice place to check out one day. And I thought, no, now or never, or there's no time like the present. So I was like, okay, we're not going to go into the same cafes today, we're going to go to this one in Oxford Street. So after that, when I went in there, it was very small. There was a few tables upstairs, but they were like bar tables, in the sense that like it's not like a table like you can sit around. It's just a literal like bar against the window, and there was all taken up anyway. So I had to go downstairs, which was nice, but obviously there's no window, so there's no light coming in. Still pretty cool. So I worked away there for an hour. Probably wouldn't come back to this place again, although they do have some like interesting like decorations and stuff. I wouldn't come to this place again. But then again, that's part of the process. Like it's okay to like go somewhere and then like you don't like it, because then like, you know, right? So it's good to, you're not always gonna go to cafes that you're gonna want to go back to. Like it wasn't even that bad, but I just like compared to the other ones. But it was good that I tried something new and went somewhere different and switched up. So it was a good thing. So I'm not too worried about that. Be hot. So after that I went home. When I was at home, had something to eat, watched some YouTube videos. I was watching like these it's really silly. It's not silly, it's kind of cool, but all these like vlogs of like people going to New York. Like they'll be like in their mid-20s and they'll do like a trip to New York, and they'll call it like, I ran away to New York at 25 years old. But it was really interesting to watch, and it was quite enjoyable to watch. So, you know, I don't have any funny ideas, so don't suspect me of anything. And then I went into boxing. Now some interesting stories about boxing. And when I was at boxing, I slipped really good, and the coach said, good slip, and I went like I was like, there. I didn't know how to slip before, so that was pretty cool. Anyway, basically on the train there I was journaling, and then on the train back there I was journaling, because I just noticed, basically there's no easy way to kind of put this. Like when I was there, I was observing myself, and I was just like, I was just watching my trail of thought, and like how I was thinking during throughout the whole thing. Like I'm not too worried about this, right? Like it's not something I'm very worried about, but it's still something in my mind. So I thought like, okay, I still kind of have to jot this down and kind of like evaluate it. And basically I just kind of came to the conclusion that whether it's like going to a boxing gym, or whether it's going to like a coffee shop, or whether I'm going in a new environment or even an old environment, I always kind of have this feeling that like when I go there, people have already established themselves, and they've already established like a bond between themselves and a kind of like friendship, and they've already made like this close-knit community. Trust me, you'll see where I'm going to this. Just I want to tell the story, so just bear with me a sec. That people have already established this like close friendship, and then when I go there, like wherever it is, whether I'm familiar with it or unfamiliar, wherever I go to a place like that, I feel like I'm infringing upon their close-knit communities by enforcing my friendship and my company upon them. That's a mouthful, but that's kind of like the best way I can describe it, because like there was just like these incidents at like the boxing gym. Like there were new faces there, basically, right? But I didn't think they were new people to the club. I thought they were like but I thought they were kind of like people who had been going there for like years on years since I was like a child. I just hadn't seen them before, and like now they were coming. So like just like around people, like I was just like, with that explanation I showed you before, like I was shy to kind of like, I was just a bit shy, but not shy in a positive way, like shy in a bit more negative way. Like we was doing these exercises and the coach was like, okay, who won out of the pair of you, in the sense that like you're doing an exercise. I was partnered up with this guy, and like I clearly knew I won, but just because I thought like he was like a experienced member of the club, and like he was well established within the club, I didn't kind of like, it was so weird. Like he was like, oh, who won? It was probably you, right? And then I was like, maybe, meaning to say that like I didn't want to be like this guy who comes in this place and like he's only been there for 1 week and like he feels like he owns the place. And like I found out like he was a new guy, and then like we was in the changing room, and this guy who I thought was an experienced member, he's talking to like all these guys who are experienced members, like they're like best buddies or something. And like, you know, like I've been there longer than him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I hope it kind of makes sense. And I was kind of, and there was like another incident, I don't want to say it, but just like these like random like social things. And then I observe myself, I observe how I act. I have to kind of think positively about myself. I kind of have to think that when I'm going to somewhere, I'm not enforcing myself upon people. Like I have to think better of myself. I have to think of someone like people would want to talk to, if that makes sense. Like I just gotta have that in my mind, because when I was talking about like people thinking they're having like a close-knit friendship and I'm infringing myself upon that, if I start thinking of myself better, like not thinking of myself as someone who doesn't deserve to be included in that kind of like circle, who deserves, like if I start thinking of myself as someone who has to be alienated, has to be outcast, like that problem will go away if I just like think better of myself and think like I'm someone who like deserves to be accepted into like a group or kind of like social situation or things like that. Like I just have to think it. Like it's not a matter of me doing X, Y, Z, becoming this person. I just have to start thinking these things. I just have to start thinking better of myself. Anyway, it wasn't like a big thing, because there was like that interaction. There was another one I was planning to tell you, but the video's gone on for 8 minutes and I don't want to go into it. But basically those are just like these small interactions in the boxing gym, and it's not specific to the boxing gym, because like when I go to like someplace else, some other social functions, like I'll think the same thing. So it's independent of the situation, so it's all down to my thinking. So I kind of have to change my thinking. So that was just one reflection I shared with you. But yeah, in the changing room, there was one of these guys. He's like this new guy as well. Like all these guys are new guys. Like I've been there longer than he was. But he's been coming, and like I've seen him through like a few sessions, and he was very nice to me. He said it was just starting small conversation with me in the changing room. So it was good that I was able to reciprocate that conversation. You know, he was just saying like, oh, it was really hard today. And I was like, yeah, it was really hard today. Like, I think it's because of the weather, like because of the overcast or something. So it was really friendly, guys. Always be friendly to people, because you never know, like, and that kind of like uplifted my mood a bit from like the whole thing. It kind of made me feel like a bit more comfortable, which is strange because I've been going there longer than he was, right? So, and this was a separate guy, by the way, to the other guy before. Anyway, it's like 9 minutes. So I'm going to keep it at that.